Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 with brackets text editor video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. In our last video, we made this slider responsive so that as you shrank down the screen size, you still got the whole image in the background. Well, I've actually taken that off in the CSS because it's not how I wanted it for this site. I was just doing that as a demonstration. I've kept mine so we keep the height, but the width shrinks down. I'll just demonstrate that. So we still got the height of the image there, but as we shrink down, we can still see all of our text and it's perfectly legible. I'm not too worried about the images itself. So in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to go back through this site, and we're still going to have display issues on smaller devices because I really did just throw this together for a desktop site to demonstrate how to put things together quickly with Bootstrap. Normally I do this on each section as I was doing it, but let's just go through. So let's see what problems we have. Let's shrink to a smaller size. Okay, that's okay there. Okay, we're running into problems when we shrink down here. This actual section is fine. These are sort of merging into each other. So let's fix that first. I'm going to try not to use media queries so much with this. I'm going to try and do it with columns and sizing with the new Bootstrap 4 classes. Let's open our index.html file with our bracket software. I've already got mine open for those who have not been following. We created this folder, put all our website files in here. Here's our index.html file we'll be using. Inside our CSS folder is our custom CSS file that we'll be using also. To open them in your text editor, just right click and open with brackets. Brackets is a free text editor. You can download it from the link below. It's absolutely awesome. And if you're following along with this series of videos, I seriously suggest that you consider using it, because it will make life a lot easier. Anyway, back to our index.html file. Let's navigate down to that section. And here we are. Here's those food images that we're having problems with. And we've only got it, the class of column small 4. And I don't think that's going to work for it. Let's, on 4, because we wanted 3 in a row, which is fine. Let's make it column large 4. But on smaller devices, let's make it full length. So we'll make it column mid, and we'll make that 12. So that means on large screens and above, it'll be 4, which is 3 across because the width of the Bootstrap area is 12. And on medium screens, it's 12. So that means it's full width of the actual area that we've got there. So let's try that. I'll just copy that over to my other section there. So I've got it on that one. And let's put it on this one. And this one also. Quick save. That's all of those 3. Now, hopefully, when we shrink down, let's refresh it. These will become full width after that breakpoint. So let's shrink down. There we go. So rather than all merging together, we've just given them their own little line there. So that takes care of that little section. Just make sure. We've got 3 in a row there. And as it shrinks down, it gets to the medium breakpoint. And it turns it into a nice single row. Okay, so we'll move on to this. For anybody who doesn't know the breakpoints of Bootstrap rows, just Google Bootstrap breakpoints, and there's some fantastic sites out there that display it all for you. And I've got my little Chrome add-on here, which is a Chrome resizer add-on. I've put my breakpoints in there. So large or extra large is 1200 and up. Large is 992, between 992 and 1200. Medium 768 to 992. Small 576 to 768. I haven't put extra small in there, but extra small is 576 and below. So I can resize my window quite easily to any of these sizes, which is really handy. And I think that's I can't even remember the name of it. Would have thought they would have given it to us here. But it's, I think it's just called Window Resizer or something like that. It's free from the Chrome store if anybody wants to download it and use it in Chrome. It's very useful. Okay, of course you can do the same thing with your Chrome Inspector, but I like that because it just jumps to it for you. So if you haven't got that, just hit F12 and your Chrome Inspector here. Got a little toggle right here, and you can jump to various breakpoint sizes that way. But okay, back to where we were. Let's just take that off. Now we need to move down to that form section now. That's not going to be quite as straightforward and easy. I've got something in mind. Let's have a look, see what happens when we size down. It's okay there. Now that's getting a little messed up there. Yeah, that's all over the place. Not good. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into 2 sections. We've got our whole row is 12 elements. So I'm going to do 6 and 6, text on one side and the form on the other side. Then I think when we shrink down to a smaller size, rather than having to do media queries, when it messes up like that, I think I'm going to change the form so it's not an inline form anymore, so it's just a regular stacked form. That might save a whole lot of problems. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to our index.html. Move on down. Okay, here's our section here. Got a container. Okay, what I'm going to do is copy that, create another div, and put this all inside a row. Just close out that div and drop it down below it. So we've got something. Put our H2 in. I'll put our H2 inside there. Control X to cut. Control V to paste. So that's got its own little div now. Just get rid of that gap. Now we've got 2 divs, and at the moment they're going to be stacked on top of each other. So I want them in line. So I want to put them inside a row. So give them a div with the class of row. the end of the row, or where the row ends, is where this last div ends. Just push those along a bit, tidy. So now we've got two rows. Sorry, we've got a row with two columns in it, and let's make the columns, say, I think large probably stay 12, because when it shrinks down, let's give it an extra large class. So let's go extra large 12. So in full screen desktop size. Sorry, 12. I want it to be 6, so that'll be half and half. Column instead of clo. And we'll do the same thing for our one below. That really shouldn't have changed anything as far as displaying on the large screen. Let's just have a look. Quick save, back to the site. Control S, back to the site. Refresh. Let's take it down to a large size. So we've got that. That really hasn't changed on extra large. Okay, yes. Going to 6 there, which is fine, but it looks pretty ugly. So to make that look less ugly, we want to sort of center align this text. And we want to center align the actual form. To do that, we're going to have to justify the content center, I believe. So let's do that. Let's just add the class of text center to this. Now this is going to center our heading there, but that won't work for the form. Text center is not going to work for the form. But if I give it, there's the form class. Let's give it justify. I think we've got to do say display, and we've got to say flex, and then justify dash content center, and that should push this whole form, should center align it within its div. So let's see if that's actually worked. Control S to save, back to the site. Remember, I'm trying to do all this without doing more media queries. And there we go. And if you want to know about media queries, have a look at our last video. We did media queries in that when we made that slider responsive. Okay, it's coming down nicely. Okay, what's happening here? Still okay. Now that's a mess. It's probably bigger than small. So oh, desktop is still fine. Let's take it down to small and see where it actually breaks. Yeah, that's small, so it's just above there. That's a shame, it's just above small. Tell you what I could do, I could give it, let's have a look at what padding we've got here at the moment. Padding left to 3, padding left 3, padding right. Let's change this and just call it padding 2, so that it'll be surrounded by padding. Padding 3, padding 3. That might break it a little earlier, I'm not sure. Let's just see what this is going to do. Might save us a bit more time in a minute. Control S to save. And back to the site. Just refresh that. Yeah, I can't make my mind up. I like it being centered like that, but I'm not sure I like that form being like that. I think what I'm going to do is on the smaller, anything other than large, I'm going to have it display just a normal stacked form. So anything below here, I'm going to get it to display stacked form. And to do that, we need to make this form disappear, and we need to make a stacked form reappear, and we give it all the same stuff, but we just want to make it stacked. So let's have a go at that. So what I'm going to do, here's our form. I'm going to copy the whole thing, Control C. Okay, so I've copied that. Now I'm going to take the inline. See the form class here? It says form inline. I'm just going to take the inline bit off. And we no longer need that justify contents center. The rest of it I'm going to leave them in. Now what I need to do, just for fun, I'm going to give this a style of background red so you can see when it actually changes from the one we've got there. I'll get rid of this in a minute. Just putting this purely in so you can see when the form changes from the top one to the bottom one. Now to make this one, we want it to disappear on anything that's under XL, extra large there. So as soon as it gets to large, which is 1200 or 1199, it's going to disappear. Okay, to make this disappear, we want to say display, which is D, none. That'll make it disappear right there, display none. But then we want to tell it to display on large screens or bigger. And to do that, you've got to tell it to display block, basically. That's telling it to display. So that's going to be display large block. So as it's not displaying on anything other than large, I can get rid of all of those. And that should appear. And let's do the opposite. This one, we want it to disappear. Basically, we want this one to not be there on anything larger than large. If that makes any sense. So we're going to say D, large, none. So now there should be two forms. One will display at below large screen level, and it should have a red background, and one will display from large screen to extra large, or large and up, basically. So let's save that, Control S, go back to the site, and see what happens here. Refresh. Right, now we're at large at the moment. We've got inline form. When we get down to anything smaller than large, it should turn red and go to stack form. There we are. You see it's gone to that stack form there. Well, actually, that is not a stacked form. I think I've got that justify in line. Let's have a look, see why that's doing that. You can see the red form has appeared there. Oh, we've got that display flex in there. We don't need that. Sure, that's just a regular form. Okay, save that, back to the site. Press that. There you go, that form's displaying stacked on top of each other there, which is what I wanted. So when we go above a large, that should disappear again, turn back to the color it was and be in line. There it is. Unfortunately, it jumps up when it gets to that break point. So that's fine. Just get rid of a bit of that CSS, and I'd like for those two to be in line. And also, I think that's too big. I think we can make that certainly on a medium screen. It's all right when it gets to about there to be that width. It's all right on a medium screen. But on that sort of medium to large size, I think those need to be smaller and sort of centered. So let's do that as well. Firstly, let's get rid of that red, background red. I just put that in there so you can see when the form's actually kicking in. And make that centralized. Let's fill it. Oh, it's 12. Well, we say at mid 6. And we'll justify the whole row so everything's centralized. Don't need those ones that are larger than that, because remember, it's not displaying. This particular form is not displaying on large and above, so we can get rid of those two. And justify content center. So I just need to put that on a row. Rid of that red, didn't I? Yes. Let's save this, go back to the site. Good. You see that's a lot smaller now because I've made it a 6 instead of 12. That's offline with that. That's probably because we got that padding on these two and not on this one. So let's just remove that padding because we don't need it. If I shrink down smaller, those should go full width again, because if we look on medium size, it's 6, which was what you're seeing there. And on small and extra small, actually, extra small, what would be 12. We want that to be full width. So let's save that back to the site, refresh. At the moment we're looking at medium. When I shrink down to smaller, those will become full width again. There we go. They're full width, and that's fine. I haven't got a problem with that size. There you go. Now I'll just tidy these up here, these padding. I can see we've got big problems down here as well. Okay, let's just tidy up that, get rid of that padding. And it's our second one here. Take that padding 2 off that we put on the first. And that should wrap this little section up. Okay, just do a quick refresh and we'll start off large and work our way down and see if we're happy with everything. Nothing like a bit of debugging. Oh, that wasn't large. Okay, let's start. That'll do. And work our way down. That's fine. That's fine. There we are. It's that little stacked form now. There we go. It's down to 12. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, well, let's move on to the next section. I could see just now that where's the next? Here we've got a problem. When we shrink down, the whole thing shrinks down. Let's see. Here we go. I see it's shrinking and it's staying as 2 columns there, which is making that look pretty stupid. So let's move down to there, which is our team section. Okay, we've got 2 columns, but the columns have no attributes to them. So say column large 6, so we want it to be pretty big on the big ones. Medium 12, let's try column medium 12. Hopefully this will be a fairly quick fix. Make sure I've got a space in there. Let's copy this over to the next one as well. This section here. Save that, and that should have fixed that problem. Okay, let's refresh. There we go. Your image now is in one, and that one's underneath. That's fine. Let's see where it's going to break. Okay, so it goes down to there. That's fine. And I'd say that's, yeah. I might just center that image. There we go, that's centered that image nicely. Just put the text center class there. That's fine because it's spread out between the whole one, so I haven't got a problem with that. Could do a media query and get that to center at that point. But like I say, I'm trying to do all this without actually doing any CSS, external CSS that is. So that's okay. The video section's fine, that's responsive anyway. Hello, we've got a bit of a problem here with our menu section. Buttons, I gave them a fixed width, that's why they're doing that, but these things shouldn't be shrinking down like that. Let's have a think what we need to do to fix that one. Okay, these haven't got any sort of columns defined. So I want to make a row. Let's make a bit of space between them. We're going to want to put these inside some containers. That's where we'll have the row end. So let's firstly build a row. So for a div, a class, a row. And actually I meant to cut that, Control X, and paste that just above our closing div here. Okay, that should be good. Now, inside that row, we want to tell it that these are all going to be columns. So, just grab these, move them across out of the way. Or a couple across. So, 1, 2 should do. Now, let's encase them all in some columns. So we're going to go a div with the class of col. Try medium. Make it full width on medium because there's 3 of them, so we can't really just cut it down to you know 6 because one will be on our line below and it won't look very good. So let's do that. That means there'll be full width on medium and column large. Can be 4, which means there'll be 3 of them like there are now. Let's try that. And I'm just going to copy that. Just delete that last div there. Drop down. I'll put one here. And that little div will be the closing div for the one that we just put at the top there. Copy this one. And let's just copy that. And we can plonk that on the bottom. That should encase them all. Oh, we're missing one on the bottom here. Put a closing div for that column. There we go, and that should turn blue. Great. Let's have a look. Hopefully that would have done it. Control S to save. To refresh. Let's take it up a little bit bigger. What I've got in mind, you'll have 3, 3, 3, and then you'll have just one big one on top of each other stacked. So you'll have these 3, and then when it gets down to about here, you're going to have one big one stacked on top of each other. So let's just refresh and see what's going on. There we go. And I haven't got a problem with that. Pictures of the nice food there. And further we go down. That will work. Okay, next section, that's fine. Wine section, that's fine too. Make sure it's going to resolve on bigger, I'm sure it is. Customer favorites, I believe that's good too. Seems to be shrinking down fine. Okay, these here, got 8 of them. Now see, they look fine, but that text is disappearing. There's more text on there. The smaller we get, the smaller that text is, or the smaller the area. That's okay when it gets small, but looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. Yeah, it's a little too much. Again, it looks like we've got a row with a couple of sections in it. So let's go on down to there. I think that was the favorite section. Everything else in between seemed to work fine. Yeah, all we've got here is columns of large 3. I think all we're going to need to do is, let's see, there's 8 of them. So let's start with a small size. We want it full screen, so we'll call that 12. And then working backwards, medium size, we want 2 of them side by side, so let's go column medium 6. And then on the large screen, well, I guess we can still have 6 on a large screen, so that'd be 2 side by side. And then when it gets to that extra large, above 1200, we can have 4. There's 8 of them, wasn't there? So it's got to be 3 for 4 in each row. So that should do it. Let's just see. Row. May have to adjust the padding. So let's just copy this across and see how that resolves. I think that's going to be pretty much it. Like I say, we might have to adjust that bit of padding, because I don't think at the moment they've got any padding themselves, so when they start stacking they might be just touching each other, which is not the end of the world, but it's not what I want, I don't think, for this. Okay, so let's save that and back to the site. And refresh. Then file there, leave them. There it is. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted, but as I thought, they're kind of stacked on each other. That's the end of a row, I imagine. And when we get up to extra large side, there should be 4 side by side. Yeah, that's fine. So you can still read that fine. Let's shrink down. Still read that fine. Shrink down some more. Now they're side by side. Yeah, no problem there. Yeah, go on down. Yeah, still read that fine. And of course, when it shrinks down, they'll be on top of each other, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, fine, but like I say, I need a bit of space between them, so we got, there's the row with the padding there. Let's get rid of that. And on each of these, we'll give it its own padding, P for padding, and 3 goes from 1 to 5, 1 being the smallest, 5 being the largest. Let's copy this and put them on our other ones here. I should have another row coming up. Here we go. There's no padding on that row. Okay, let's continue putting those there. And there's the last one. Let's save that. Now let's take a look. Quick refresh. Okay, you see they got a bit of space between them now. Oh, they've all got a bit of space between them. And you can read the mouse over text there. Good, so that's fine. I'm happy with that little section. Next one, don't know if we'll need to do much to this. It's fine. Oh, let's have a look. Okay, yeah, all I think I'm probably going to need to do is just put a bit of padding around those buttons there. Let's have a look at those. Here's those locations. It's a row. Yeah, so the only thing that's showing is that. So let's just add a bit of padding around there. Let's give them a bit more padding this time. Let's give them a P5. Padding 5. Copy those across. I'm not on the top, so let's go back up. Start the top one. Save that. Back to the site. And refresh. Hopefully there should be some space between them. Yeah, that's fine. Now what I could do, still open fine, aren't they? Yeah. To make it more symmetrical, could get rid of that padding on the row there. Yeah, let's do that. We've got 2 rows. I hope it doesn't. Being a little far there. Hope it doesn't take away from the actual section itself. Save that. There we go. A lot more symmetrical. Let's just see what it's going to do on our large screen. That's absolutely fine. Hasn't taken anything away. Let's just double check that everything is going to do as it should do. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty much there. I just want to I might want to center that video. Not too worried about the rest of it. And put a bit of space on that book now button. So let's move down. I think the video is not going to play on small devices anyway, because I don't think they do by default. Here's the video container. Here's the actual video itself. Put text center there. That should center the video, which won't make any difference on the larger screens, but it'll look better on the smaller one. Save. Back to the site. Go down to where we were. Okay, well, the reason it's not centered, I wrote text video instead of text center. That'll teach me to talk while I'm typing. Let's have a look. See. I apologize. This video seems to be going on a bit. I thought I could do this quite quickly, but there's a lot more debugging on this site than I thought there'd be. But I hope you find this helpful. There we go. That's centered that video. It's the way to do it. And let's have a look. See this button. Well, this div, I'm just going to give this div above it a bit of padding on the bottom. Let's say, I want to put it inside those inverted commas. Padding, bottom. Give it 4. And that should give it a bit of space between it and the video on the smaller devices. There we go. It's got a bit of separation there. Cheers. Make that 5. And I think I'm just not going to have the video on small, or anything below medium, because I don't think it's going to look good. So let's say display none. But display on medium and up, so medium display block. So that should disappear on anything smaller than medium. Let's just open that up and refresh. That makes no difference what we've done to this particular part as we shrink down. There we go, the video is displaying underneath now. And if I shrink down a bit further, disappear altogether. There we go, disappeared altogether. Bring it back, of course it will jump up as soon as I do that. There we go. That section's fine. I could justify that center with a bit of few media queries, but I'm going to leave it as is. That little ticker tape thing, that's fine. Our little counter boxes, they seem to be doing okay, except they're not counting for some reason. There we go. What else we got going on? This here, that's okay. The Google map itself, don't need to change that. Okay, we've got a bit of a problem with the footer here. Looking at it, I think most of it we can do with our column resizing, but I got a nasty feeling there's one little bit I'm going to have to do with a bit of CSS. Let's go down to our footer here. The map, here's the footer. Let's change that. 12. See, they're 444 on large and above, which means they'll be split into 3. Then when they get down to medium and below, they're going to be full width. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted, but I want that to be in the middle. And I can't just put it in the middle because it won't look right when we're large. So I'm going to have to do a media query. This is the last. We've actually finished. We've actually got to the end here. But to finish this, I'm going to have to do a media query. So let's just give this, where is our little image right here? Let's give it a class of bottom logo, B logo. Save that, and I'm going to have to go into my CSS file and do a media query. Here are all the media queries that we did last time. Please watch that video if you want to know a little bit more about media queries. And I'm going to just steal this one right here. I'm going to say logo, wasn't it? Bottom logo. I don't want it to display now, and what I want it to do is text align right. Center. Okay. Save that. Back to our site. Now, hopefully that should shoot over here when I refresh. There we go. Well, we got through it, and that was the only bit of CSS I had to do, so I'm not too upset about that. And when we get bigger, it should pop over to the left-hand side again, so it's in line with that top one. So there you have it. There is how to make responsive columns so that your site becomes fully responsive without doing CSS. There's some great new classes there in the Bootstrap 4. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I apologize it was so long. If you have enjoyed it and found it useful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in web development, please take one of our courses below. We've got some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. We've also got some great free courses down there. So please take a look. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.